Your 20s is the time in which you learn, you grow, and you become a better version of yourself. But not just that, it is a time wherein you have extreme highs, right? High moments of life when you're completely filled with joy, and moments wherein you are feeling completely low and upset. And how are you actually supposed to maneuver your early 20s? What are you supposed to do, and how are you supposed to live your life? 7 things that I wish I knew in my early 20s, right? I'm going to share it with you right now. And if you don't already know me, my name is Mohit Jagwani. I'm an entrepreneur, hybrid calisthenics athlete, and I'm one of India's top speakers. And my goal with this channel is to help you do life better. So if that sounds interesting to you, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, let's talk about 7 things that I wish I knew in my early 20s. I turned 26 back in the July of 2024, and I'm going to turn 27 in the July of 2025, right? It's March, so I'm basically, close to, you could say it's the beginning of March, so I'm basically 5 months away from turning 27. And if there's one thing that I wish I knew right in the beginning of my 20s, it'll be this. Number one, know yourself extremely well, like extremely. Okay. Now, the reason I say know yourself extremely well is because what happens is that there are two types of situations that most people go through. Number one is conformism. Conformism is when you do what everyone else is doing. Right? For example, if you're in your 12th, right, and you see everyone in your class doing engineering, guess what? You decide to do engineering, right? You went into engineering, and then let's say you're 20, 21, right? You're basically done with your BTech, your bachelor's, and now it's time for you to move forward, right? And you see everyone else, let's say in your circle, giving GRE, going abroad, and doing all of those things. And because of that, you think that you're supposed to do that too, right? And you probably do something similar, or probably it's something opposite, wherein you see everyone else settling for a job for, let's say, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, or whatever, basically a mediocre or low level job. And guess what? You do the same because you see everyone else doing it. That is conformism. Most people fall to this trap. If not this trap, they'll fall to the second trap, which is tyrannism. In tyrannism, you blindly follow what someone else tells you. For example, you probably have a very, let's say, dominating father, and you just do what he or she tells you to do, right? You just, for example, if they think that engineering or computer science or whatever, AI is a good thing to learn, which by the way it is, but it's we'll talk about that as we move forward, right? They think that, oh, AI is wonderful, just do AI and become a master in that. Correct? That is what they think. Now, when that happens, when you follow tyrannism, the person that is giving you orders, they don't know you extremely well. They don't know you as much as you will be able to know yourself. Correct? They don't know how you feel on the inside when you are doing certain things. So most people fall to this. So don't do what everyone else is doing. Don't do what, someone else. If, for example, if that someone is living the life that you want to live, then follow their orders. Sure, then follow their advice. But if they're not living the life that you want to live, do not follow their orders. For example, now let's say if you want to live the kind of life that your father is living, follow his advice for sure. But if he's not, then don't follow his advice. So what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to know yourself extremely well? Well, keep these two things in mind. Number one, think, right? Think about all of the different avenues you have, and think about whatever you have done in the past so far, right? Look back and think about the things that really fuel you, things that give you immense joy that you were doing, right? That probably could help you make money. Things that give you immense pain that you they did not fulfill you at all, right? Kind of people that made you feel happy, kind of people that made you feel super upset and sad. Look at all of these things right? And know yourself extremely well. Now, if you feel that you can't think, then do. If you do not have enough information to think about whatever just happened and you need to process more, then do stuff. For example, meet new people, try new things, right? And then once you have tried enough things, you have met enough people, then again you need to think, right? So have this cycle of thinking, doing. Whenever you feel doing is not giving you the solution, think. And whenever you feel that thinking is not giving you the solution, do. This is a perpetual cycle. Okay, so that being said, how can you know yourself further and how can we systematize this a little bit more? So we move on to the next step, which is number 2: know your values. Now let me tell you a story. Right when I got out of college, so my college was Vellore Institute of Technology, and I did my bachelor's in technology in mechanical engineering, taken mechanical engineering. Now I knew that I did not want to build a career or future in mechanical engineering right at that moment. I did not want to pursue something that's super technical. And I knew that I wanted to pursue something that was more people oriented. And I got into sales because I also knew that I want to do something, and sales is that one thing that every business needs. Without sales, a business will not function unless that's, let's say, a business that involves trading, right? Online trading, just you using clicking buttons. That is fine. But apart from that, as far as I know, every business requires sales. Okay, so I decided to learn that skill first. And the company that I was a part of, it had a very toxic work culture. A lot of you might have heard about that company. That company is not doing that well right now. I was a business development associate with that company. And what happened is that one fine day I got to this house that was very underprivileged. The father was a lathe machine worker. And if you don't know what a lathe machine is, it is this machine that cuts metals, wood, a lot of other things. And it's generally used to make custom parts of steel, and and it's highly risky to operate if you don't know how to operate it. And that guy, he was a lathe machine worker, he had his child, and I used to sell, let's say, education related stuff. And it was an edtech product. I went to that guy, and he had 3 of his fingers cut off, 2 from this hand and 1 from this hand. And his child desperately needed help because during COVID, a lot of schools were shut off, right? And children were not upskilling, they were not getting the education that they needed, and they were in a very bad position. And I told him that your child is going to get left behind. And he really wanted his child to become a better version of, he did not want his child to live the life that he's living. And I emotionally manipulated him, and he decided to purchase the product. His salary was barely 8 to 10,000 per month. The product was worth 25,000, and he decided to take a loan for it. And there's a 15-day refund period. I literally reached out to him every day for all of those 15 days, asking whether your child is studying. He's like, yes. I'm like, cool, okay, wonderful. I was happy. And then a month and a half goes by, and then he reaches out to me telling that he thought his child was studying, but he was just pressing buttons and nothing was happening. That broke me. The reason it broke me is because it had a very strong value conflict. You see, back in college, I was a part of this non-profit organization, and I used to help children for free, right? Underprivileged children. I used to teach them, I used to educate them for free, and I helped them become a better version of themselves for free. And over here, I made them pay, and they did not even get a benefit. So it was completely opposite of what I was doing, because now that was a value conflict for me. It really hurt my soul, and eventually I was started underperforming, and I had to quit that job. Now, why did this situation happen? Because I was not 100% aware of what my values are. So if I were to talk about my values, my number one value is family. Number two value is empathy, right? And number three value is abundance. And so these are some of my values. Now, I obviously took a test to find out these values. You can take that test too. The description, the link of that test is going to be mentioned in the description, so you can check that out. Correct? Know your values so that you don't get into situations wherein you know there's a value conflict and you take the wrong decision, and as a result it hurts you and it deteriorates the quality of your life. So be very mindful and know your values. Okay, that's the second thing. Now the third thing you need to understand is know what drives you. We don't even realize, but things that naturally drive us are the things that we will perform the best. We will do the best. We will be the best performers in those kind of things. For example, things that naturally drew me were people, stages, anywhere wherein I naturally got a lot of attention and I was able to showcase myself. That drove me. For example, public speaking, communication, right? Helping people become better version of themselves, or let's say me doing a stand-up set. That is something that drove me. I enjoyed that. I back when I was in college, I tried a few stand-up sets, right? And these are the things that drove me, and becoming a better version of myself, helping others become a better version of themselves. That is why I was a part of that non-profit organization. Now, what does someone that really likes the public eye and really wants to help other people become a better version of themselves, what does he become? He probably becomes something like a coach, a life coach, or a corporate trainer. And guess what? That is what I am right now. Right? I coach business leaders along the lines of public speaking, presentation mastery. And if you're someone that is a business leader, or you're just someone that wants to aspires to become one, right, you can consult me. The link is going to be mentioned in the description, but I'm not here to sell that, by the way, right? If it's just that if you are someone that is interested in something like that, you can check it out. But this is to help you understand that if this drives you, or help you understand that when you understand what drives you, you naturally grow in life. You do not have to force yourself. You do not have to push yourself as much. You naturally get pulled in by the thing that actually drives you. So that is why it's really important to know what drives you. Okay, now moving forward, fourth thing you need to understand is know your strengths. For example, something that is of natural, that comes very naturally to me, is the ability to listen. For example, now I am naturally an introvert, right? But I forced myself to be an extrovert. I'm a forced extrovert now. I can listen exceptionally well. I can listen at the fourth level. So there are four levels of listening. First one is ignoring. Second one is pretending. Third one is active listening. And fourth one is empathetic listening. So if I really want to, I can listen very deeply at the fourth level, empathetically, and that is something that comes very naturally to me, right? So that is also one of the reasons why why I am a really good life coach in one-on-one scenarios too. Correct? So I have helped people get out of depression. I've helped people overcome heartbreak. Why? Because I actually was able to listen to their problems really well and then critically think through the solutions, right? So that's strength number two, critical thinking of mine, right? I can think through situations really well. I am a natural thinker. So, there are people that have this tendency to overthink. If you are someone that is an overthinker, right, you can think critically too. So you will be a really good critical thinker and you'll be a really good problem solver. Now, what most people what most people think is that overthinking is a negative trait. It's only negative if you don't know how to use it positively. Okay, ADHD, people think that's very negative. Well, it's only negative if you don't know how to use it positively. The thing with ADHD is that they constantly need something, some sort of activity to do, right? When they understand that and they constantly schedule their day that is designed to help them use that trait, then they become ultra successful. For example, Dan Martell, right, the author of Buy Back Your Time, he's a multi-millionaire and he coaches a lot of people. He coaches millionaires too. Now he's someone that has ADHD, and he's extremely successful. So it's not about having that trait, it's about not understanding how you can use that trait. So, how do you use that thing as your strength? How do you use that trait as your strength? That is true wisdom. Now, the fifth thing you need to understand is build around your values, strengths, and drive. Now, let's say you understood what your values are, you understood what your strengths are, you understood what drives you, all of it. The next thing you need to do is build everything around that. Everything. So basically, you're supposed to start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Wherever you are, for example, if you are at a very good position in, let's say, in your family business, start there, right? And build from there in a direction that is, let's say, accustomed to you and your style of working, doing what drives you, what fulfills you, right? So start where you are, use what you have, whatever resources you have, use them and do what you can and build everything around that. For example, now let's say if I am really good at public speaking and all of that, I'm a coach. Now, how do I build from there? Well, I need to get someone that supports me in there. Now, that is one skill that is exceptionally well. In order to support that, I need someone that can market me, right? So, if you don't know, there's this marketing and skills matrix. Now, what the marketing and skills matrix tells is that if you are terrible at marketing and if you're terrible at whatever you are doing, whatever, whether it's a service or a product, you're not that skilled, then you're a loser. You're not going to accomplish anything if you stay stuck at that level. Now, let's say if you become really good at marketing, but you're still terrible at that skill, that service or product, then you're a scammer because you'll be able to sell it exceptionally well, but that product is not going to add value. Now, let's say if you are really skilled, your service, your product is exceptionally well, but you do not have the marketing skills required to scale it up, then you're going to stay in survival mode. What's going to happen is that you might find a few customers here and there, but then you'll go back and you'll drop down to the same level and you'll not be able to scale up. So you'll keep on surviving. Now, if you're good at both marketing and your service and product is exceptionally well too, then you become a superstar and you skyrocket. You become extremely successful. Know where you are. For example, if you're really good at marketing, right, you know how to position yourself and all of that, then make sure that whatever service or product that you're trying to sell, you become good at that, right? And if you're good at the other thing, become good at marketing. You get what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now, the sixth thing is understand the difference between enjoying your current life and destroying your future. I did not understand the difference between enjoying my current life and destroying my future, right? If you don't already know about my past, I used to struggle with smoking. I used to struggle with porn. I used to struggle with weed. A lot of other stuff I used to struggle with. And the only thing that I had in mind was, oh, you know what? I want to enjoy. I want to be with the cool kids. I want to be known. And I did a lot of stupid shit because of that. Just to be a part of that circle, not because that was something that truly, let's say, made me feel happy. It did not. Right? I just wanted to be a part of the cool kids, and I did that shit. And that ruined my, and I did not even realize, but I was ruining my future in the process. And the way I quit that habit is a lot of things happened. A close friend of mine passed away because of drinking and driving. And when that happened, I realized that, okay, you know what? That's something that could happen to me too. And this made me actually decide that eventually I'm gonna quit drinking, I'm gonna quit smoking, I'm gonna quit weed, all of that, all of the negative shit, and I'm gonna improve my life. And today it has been 3 years that I've quit the habit of smoking, drinking, smoking up, all of that. Right now, again, I'll be brutally honest. When I say I've quit the habit, that means I am not addicted to it in any way, shape, or form. But recently, my cousin's wedding happened, right? And I did drink and, a little bit of stuff I did there because, again, this was the cousin that I grew up with. So that's the only reason. But yeah, after that, now it's been like more than a month. So I haven't touched and I'm not interested in doing that again for quite some time. So yeah, basically, I've quit that stuff for good. So that's something. Okay, right now the seventh thing is surround yourself with people that help you grow. Now, whether you realize it or not, you are a product of your environment. You are the average of 5 people that you choose to be influenced by. And more often than not, you generally get influenced by people that are most around you, that you spend most of your time with. If you are in a circle that is not helping you grow, you need to find a circle that helps you grow and spend more time with them. And if you can change the circle, that circle that you're a part of, and you can help them become better achievers, sure, do that. But I'll be honest, in 95% of the cases, they don't give a shit and they are happy with where they are. So if you're someone that wants to become a better version of yourself, you need to constantly upskill yourself and change the people that you surround yourself with. Be connected, help them if they need your help, but don't think that you're going to spend time with them and you're still going to become successful if they are not driven out, if they do not help you grow. Okay, because the herd will always break the individual. So if the herd has a certain mentality, no matter what you try to do as an individual, their identity, the herd's mindset is always going to overpower yours. So make sure that you surround yourself with people that actually help you grow. Correct? So these were 7 things that I wish I knew in my early 20s, and that's all from my end. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. As you already know, my goal with this channel is to help you build a better life. And that's all from my end. You can feel free to check out these videos that can help you become a better version of yourself. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Take care. Ciao.